Hello and welcome to another Big Orbit deck profile. I know I haven't done one of these for a very long time. That's mainly because just things getting in the way. But last time I did one was in G series for Megacolony, so I only thought it was right to make another Megacolony one. This one being the V series Megacolony. It is a standard deck, and it's sort of only had one set of support, but even then there are still quite a bit of differences people can make to the deck, and I'm just showing you mine. Mine has worked pretty well. Megacolony is actually a pretty good deck, despite it sort of falling under the radar. It tends to do quite well against some Protect clans, namely Oracle Think Tank, but tends to do quite badly against more Accel clans, specifically things like Murakumo. It does do well against Nova Grappler and Aquaforce and things like that, ones that are really aggro, but ones that sort of are a bit mixed on things, like a bit of aggro control like Murakumo, then it does tend to suffer against. But yeah, I'll show you what's in the deck, and naturally this pile is just Protect tokens, nothing too fancy, just some Spark Hercules, Misaki, and just some generic ones, nothing to really talk about. But so first of all, we have Machining Spark Hercules. Now he is in a way the main grade 3 of the deck, though I'd consider there a second main grade 3 really. But yeah, he is sort of the one that activates everything and just keeps you living really. So he's got Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, Counterblast 2, choose 5 of your rear guards, stand them. They get plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. Choose all your opponent's units, rest them, and they get minus 5,000 until the end of the turn. Until the end of your opponent's turn, sorry. So even during your opponent's turn, if they keep their current Vanguard, if they don't ride over it, it's lost power. It's become a lot harder to hit your Vanguard, and all their rear guards as well. Whoops. And the good thing about keeping all their guys at rest is Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, put a grade 2 or less rear guard into your soul, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power for each of your opponent's rest units. So he suddenly powers up a ton for such a small cost really, and it is an especially small cost because we'll see how the soul is used, and also why standing up your own guys is useful. But yeah, just bear in mind he's the sort of main grade 3, and you run 4 of him definitely. Now here is Machining Stag Beetle, who I would argue is equally a main grade 3, as he, as in Spark Hercules, sort of activates everyone and gets everyone going, but the one who really fills out your deck and gives you loads of value is Machining Stag Beetle. So it's auto Vanguard Circle, Rear Guard Circle. When placed from hand, call up to 2 cards from your soul to Rear Guard Circle at rest, and if this unit was placed on Vanguard Circle, this unit gets the original power of all the units called with the effect. So you call him to Rear Guard Circle, you can call 2 free units, just completely free. Then you Counterblast 2, which sort of nullifies the freeness, but it's still really good. And you stand them up, and now you've got 2 new units you can use from your soul, so it's very select. You have a sort of Pale Moony thing going on here. So naturally I run 3 of him. He is really good, do not underestimate him. He's also good as a first ride if you don't have 2 Counterblast, or if you ride first. So if your opponent's at grade 2, you probably don't want to go to Spark Hercules, because minusing their power at that point, it's not that great, and they're definitely going to ride into grade 3 if they can. So it's a bit of a waste of resources really, but yeah, he's definitely a good first ride, and we'll see more synergy with him later. Then we have Death Warden Outline. So I did used to run 2 of this card, I only run 1 now. But he is a finisher, so he's auto Vanguard Circle, Rear Guard Circle. When it attacks, Soul Blaster grade 3, discard 2 cards from your hand until the end of the battle. This unit gets plus 10,000 power, plus 1 critical, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels to Guardian Circle, sorry. So yeah, he's a big finisher, he goes in for the kill, and especially if you're against a Protect player, all you see in their hand is Protect gifts, then you're like, okay, he's probably definitely going through. They need a lot of shield to get past, to defend this, because you also powered up through Spark Hercules, giving him plus 5,000 and probably giving the thing behind it plus 5,000 too, making it an extra 10,000, and there are other ways to power him up too. But I found running 2 of him a bit awkward. You'd get cluttered in your hand, and also discarding 2 for the cost is a fairly big cost. Even though we're a Protect clan and we tend to have a bigger hand than most other clans, it's still a bit tricky to use that, and I find myself risking it and then losing afterwards, where I could have maybe survived if I didn't do it. So, onto the grade 2s, we have Machining Mantis, who is a just 9k power, normal auto, Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. When placed, cost counterblast 1, look at 6 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck, and this unit gets plus 6,000 power. Counterblast for that is pretty good. It's not really immediate, nothing immediate in value. You do get value because you're getting the grade 3 maybe, but it's good for fixing, but the grade 3s never have shield, as you know, so it's good to get the grade 3s out of the deck though. That's the important thing. Gives you more chance of getting triggers, gets you more shield later on. You can always discard the grade 3 for a Protect gift or any kind of perfect guard in your hand, really, so it is good. I run 3 of him. Then, this is one of the star grade 2s. He is Water Gang, and he's got a very simple ability on Rearguard Circle. When it stands, counterblast 1, put it into the soul, draw 2 cards. Now, that's pretty good. You're not really... You are losing a card because you're going into the soul, but when you're machining Stag Beetle, really, are you losing it? Because you just get it out for free again. Also, if you ride machining Stag Beetle first, and you get it out, and then... Even if you can't stand it, next turn he stands normally through the stand phase anyway, and you can activate it then. So you draw 3 cards at the start of your turn. Really, really good. Good for a first ride because you can get out of soul, and then you can also synergize if you've got 3 counterblast, which isn't such a big cost as it may seem because Megacolony are amazing at countercharging. You play Stag Beetle, you bring out Water Gang, use the ability of Hercules, stand it up, counterblast 1, draw 2, and then you're just getting loads of value. It's really good. So you got 4 of him. Then talking about countercharges, we have Bloody Hercules. So it's another grade 2, auto Rearguard Circle when placed, soul plus 1, and you can give it 6k. You will have fairly big soul, so don't be afraid to use that ability. And also auto Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle, when attack hits, countercharge 1, and one of your units gets 6k. So you can do that early on. You can go into Machining Mantis on the Vanguard Circle, bring this out, try and get some extra value in there, bring back your countercharge, bring back the counterblast, give something 6k as well. Really, really good. If this hits, then you immediately get quite good advantage. So I run 4 of him, definitely. He's very, very good. Then we have Small Captain Butterfly Officer. She's only a 6k grade 1, pretty weak, but she has auto Rearguard Circle. When placed, rest this unit, choose one of your other units, other rearguards. It gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. If you chose, at the end of the turn, put this unit into your soul and countercharge 1. Not put this unit into the soul, sorry. Put the select unit into the soul. So you can do lots of little shenanigans, give it to Bloody Hercules to give him more chance of hitting, and then if he hits, you countercharge 2 because he goes into the soul at the end and you can get him back out through Stag Beetle and all sorts of things. You do that kind of thing. It's really, really good. And resting her isn't really a cost because you just do Spark Hercules and then stand her back up and then she becomes an 11k booster. Really, really good. And I definitely run 4 of her. She is excellent. And we have Spiteful Hopper, a sort of more awkward way of countercharging. When placed, Soul Blast 1, and one of your units gets plus 6,000 power to the end of the turn. If you have no face-up cards in your damage zone, countercharge 1. So it's never enough to give Spark Hercules the amount of countercharge you need because you need to counterblast 2 for Spark Hercules. It gets you closer to it, so I do recommend using it because then you can also give the 6k to Bloody Hercules again and get more chance of hitting. But yeah, it's a stepping stone. If they actually decided to bring Stealth Millipede into the English version, because they've made him a promo and he's been in Japan for a long time, and I've proxied him, he's really, really good. But if they brought Stealth Millipede, I would replace Spiteful Hopper with him. But by the looks of it, English Bushiroad don't really want to do that. It's a bit awkward, and I really wish they would, but never mind. So I run 3 of him. Then we have Machining Hornet. Another grade 1 with auto Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, When its attack or the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard, look at 6 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them, put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. And put it into your, if this card was on rearguard circle, you put this into your soul. Yet again, not much of a downfall because you can bring it back out through Stag Beetle, and also keeps him safe, pretty nice. So same sort of thing as Machining Mantis, just more hand advantage, more grade 3s, but a really good first ride if you're going second, because it works on Vanguard Circle and there's no cost to it. If it's on Vanguard Circle, you just hit, get your grade 3, and then have a good day, I guess. So yeah, I definitely run 4 of him, he's really good. And then as a little tech, kind of, I have 2 Phantom Black. His skill is auto rearguard circle. When it boosts, discard a card from your hand, and until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 6k, and your opponent cannot call normal units to hand from hand to Guardian Circle. Now this is mostly used to boost Death Warden Antlion, because the 2 guard restrictions go hand in hand. You get a big booster on a big attacker anyway, just more chances, but discard 3, which is a pretty big cost. But still, it's a good card either way. If you know your opponent, if you've been paying close attention to your opponent's drive checks, then this is going to be useful. You'll be able to see how many triggers your opponent's been getting most of the time, apart from the draws they get otherwise. But still, nice little card to have in. Maybe if you're going first, you first write this, because you can just keep him safe in soul for when you need him. So 2 of that. Then on to the triggers. I run 6 critical triggers and then 6 draw triggers. And the reason I run so many draw triggers is, well, I try my best to try and get draw triggers in there, because I love draw triggers. I think running so many crits is kind of boring, and draw triggers just more fodder for perfect guards. Like, getting rid of a 5k is pretty good, and also just like because you're drawing more and you have so many perfect guards against Axel clans, it's really useful. And generally also for Death Warden Antlion and Phantom Black, more cards in hand to activate their skills. Really, that's the idea behind it. So 4 of the perfect guard draw trigger and 2 of the non-perfect guard draw trigger. Then naturally I've got 4 heal triggers in there. And I've got the only Forerunner I can have, so it's Machining Worker Ant. And that is the deck, and I've given you a basic idea of how it works as well as I've gone along. Mainly these 2. These 2 are the best things in the deck. They really work so well together. Machining Stag Beetle, he's a really good triple R, and he's fairly cheap really for a triple R as well. At least he used to be. So this deck is fairly budget. It can be quite hard to get a hold of some of the cards because they've only had 1 set at the moment. It was only an extra booster, and it was a fair while ago now, so that's a bit annoying. But really, if people were saying like, "Oh, Megacolony is awful," it's tended to always have this idea of Megacolony is awful. It comes from pre-G series, when that was indeed true. Megacolony were never good. G series, they were kind of good towards the beginning, but never good enough to be meta. Then they got Gridora and all things. I never really liked the Gridora. In my opinion, early G was the best form of Megacolony, and I really hope they go into it in this. But I don't like machining in G because it's so oppressive, and now Gridora is so oppressive as well. I just don't like it very much. But this is a completely different playstyle. It's more to do with gaining loads of resources, getting hand advantage, and you got the sort of minusing power, which is kind of similar to paralyzing, because your opponent still has the choice of, do they call over it or do they leave it weak? One of them gets rid of hand, one of them gives them power, but it gives them power sort of thing. So we do have that. I kind of like that, because that's the idea that they had originally, is you give your opponent a choice. They can either fight back and lose some hand, or it's cool. I really like that theme. And this still goes for the theme, but I'd prefer if Stealth Millipede, please Bushy Road, Stealth Millipede came back, because his card is so cool and so good. So yeah, that would be great. But either way, that's what it is at the moment. I'll probably do another one when the next set of support comes out for Megacolony, and I'll probably do some other deck profiles as well. I have a Artemis Genesis deck, which I'll probably go through. It's a bit budget, but it's still a lot of fun. So anyway, that is everything. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.